Alrighty, good evening, Tigercast fans. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to a very special Friday night live. I just had a haircut. No, I didn't. The kids did. I didn't. I didn't get one at the same time. There was some speculation though that if I were to get a haircut, I was going to have to get a little lightning bolt in the side of the hair, like what the boys have got. So you might see that pop up at one stage because I have promised them that I will match their lightning bolt in the side of the head at one point in time. So not today though, not today, and no shaved beard either. Although that's probably due for something as well. I do have my media polo top on, which it's a serious occasion. So, well, actually, to be totally honest, it is absolutely stifling hot out here in the garage. As you would all know, I would typically have a hoodie on. Not possible at the moment. I've got the jumper next to me, but it is not at all possible to wear. I forgot. I turned the mic off rising and forgot to click over to the other scene, and I got lost as to where I actually was. So there we go. Hawks, I actually have to record the 12th day of Christmas. So I have been a little bit behind, but I'll record it and post it after this. So it'll be a long one. Well, when I say long, it'll be a late post, but I will have to do that as well. So haven't seen a correct guess yet, though. More importantly, across any of the socials, no one has correctly guessed what is being announced, which is good. But I hope everyone's been doing well. It's been about 10 or 11 days since we've done a live. I know that probably doesn't seem like a long time in real life terms, but when you sort of consider during the season, we sort of have a live 2 or 3 times a week, maybe 4. Then draft time, there was a few more lives as well. It's been a long time, so I thought it'd be a good time to bring one up. Do you know the players? I do, but I don't know. I haven't actually checked who number 12 is yet. I've forgotten because I did that a little while ago on a co-pilot, so I'll have to double check that. But yeah, like it's pretty much it's my best 23 for December, so I did have a little bit of control over what was going in there, but trying to put it together was was tricky. But some good training reports though. Has everyone caught wind of all the training reports? I'm going to make a video on that as well, which I'll probably again have to do tonight. But just to go over some brief notes, and I think what I'm actually loving now, there seems to be a lot more people getting out the training these days, which is awesome. It's so good that more people are getting out there. I'm extraordinarily jealous. Tigers of Old put up a ripper report on Punt Road End. There was the Vaucluse on Big Footy. There was someone else in Big Footy who I was reading as well. Where was it? I had it on my screen moments ago. Danog did one. Caesar added a little bit on Punt Road End as well. So between all the forums, we're getting some pretty good comprehensive views on what some of our players are doing, which is really good. So we'll talk about that briefly. Is it true that CB? No, he's not in this year's calendar. No. Although he did mention he wanted to release a calendar, but no, that is not the case. I don't know about the finalized SSP. I have a funny feeling that happens in February. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, we'll have to see what's happening there. It'd be interesting to see who we pick. Who, out of interest, for the train on players, out of Kraz. Oh, hang on, I want to try and get his name right. Where was it written? It was written somewhere. Krasnodemsky or Burton. Who is everyone thinking they would rather take? I'm probably leaning towards the big Kraz at the moment. Get the ruckman in, not to impact right now because that's not really going to happen. But for 3-4 years' time, it could be a nice little 1-2 partner with Sims if he comes on, as we all hope. But yeah, who does everyone think we should take in that space? A lot of love for the Special K. Yeah, I think he's doing quite well. The only problem, like, I really like Burton, but I feel like we've probably got a lot of similar players to his type that maybe make it a bit more difficult to take him. I don't know. That's just the gut feel. No idea, Thomas, when I'll shave it at some point. And you know what? I think I finished, well, probably because we've got 2 weeks left of work, but it'll get no attention over that time frame as well. But we'll have to, trim it at some stage. Won't be ever clean shaven. We'll just a minor trim. But looking at some of these training reports, I'm going to probably work off Tigers of Old one from Punt Rate End because I like that it's color-coded and spaced out like that. But rehab group so far that we've got at the moment, folks: Banks, Ralph Smith, Ross, Campbell, Hopper, Smiley, but it was noted looking very lean, clear body shape change. Juddy Clark moving okay. Nank was on light duties. Broad similar. Vlosten jogging laps, which was awesome. Sims, Miller was absent. Trainer and Houghton in there as well. So a few people mentioned that that Houghton might have picked up a small niggle at some point, but it didn't look too serious. Warm-up and drills, I think it was the same as some previous weeks in terms of what they were doing, but then they did some of the scrimmage simulation, and some of the plays that stood out. Jonty Fall stood out, which was awesome. Flying for all the marks really stood out. Liam Fawcett didn't drop a mark today. His field kicking to forward's advantage also a feature. So on those two quickly, announcement will be at 9. At 9, we'll do the announcement. Fawcett and Fall and Harry Armstrong sort of all competing. Are they competing for the same spots? For what it's worth, I reckon Jonty Fall's locked into one of the forward spots alongside Tom Lynch. I do think that the third big forward spot is open for Armstrong or Fawcett to take. So that's just my interpretation of it. I might be completely wrong. But Fawcett seems to be doing everything possible, putting his best foot forward to try and stake a claim for that forward role, which is awesome. But no, Tiger team didn't get a job at Richmond, although if they're willing to talk, I'm open to discussions. I should try and manufacture some type of role, shouldn't I? Should try and manufacture it. Caleb Smith was another one that a lot of the different track watchers from today noted as a very good performer. Obviously, we've seen the big transformation in Caleb Smith's body with his upper body. He's quite a bit of muscle up there now. And he was standing out in a lot of things he was doing today. Ball use looking good. Again, where do we see Caleb Smith fitting into the side? Like, he's one that seems to do okay at VFL level, finds the ball a hell of a lot, uses it quite well. I just think in the positions that he's trying to play in, there's a lot of other players in those spots. So I don't know where he fits, but he's got skill. He's got skill. There's going to be some serious selection issues. Like, for anyone who's had a crack at trying to do a 23 with a fully fit squad, it is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Thomas, the last time I would have fully cleanly shaved my beard. Good question. See, the reason why I don't is I get really irritable skin. So if I use an actual razor, I'll be sliced open, I'll be itchy. It's an absolute nightmare. So I'll use like the electric shaver, and it gets fairly close, but the last time I would have done that, geez, it would have to have been years, honestly. Would have to have been years. Maybe it might have been 1 year at work for when we did Movember, potentially. Or maybe a wedding at some point. I don't know. It's been that long. But Caleb Smith, interesting. Seen him on the Delish chopping block, along with Sonzi. Gee, that's a big call. It's a big call. It's going to be hard for him to squeeze in. And that's probably the biggest thing, isn't it, Ash, is that showing a lot of good signs, but how do we get him game time to show his worth at AFL level? And there will be a few players in that same boat. And I know that, injuries and shit pop up during the year, of course, where people get chances. But at the moment, we don't obviously have those spots available. Nuclear's not a bad point. Smith to take over from Short. Yeah, wouldn't mind seeing Smith get a bit of a crack. Jasper Alger seems to be impressing everybody again. It also read today like that he did a lot of extra work afterwards in terms of his running. I don't know what he's done in the off-season, but he has come back a running beast, winning shuttle runs and sprints, doing all the extra work, but his skill level's obviously still very good too. Looking supremely fit, good skills. I think he knows that there's a bit more competition for spots now, and I reckon he's eyeing off a round one spot and looking to hold on to it. And you all know I'm low-key pretty big fan of Jasper Alger, so I'm all for it. The biased part of me thinks that I reckon he'll play round one, but there's obviously quite a few months to go. I just think he can offer a point of difference. What do we think about Jasper? Where do we see him playing? Do we see him playing as a half forward? Can he move up the ground with this newfound running capacity? What does everyone think for young Jasper? Don't argue, I'm the 5th man on the bench. Geez, they may as well play a rotation down if they were to do that. Take over from short. What else we got? Is the doozy dropping at 9 p.m.? Yeah, 9 p.m. No, doesn't mean it's adults only. I didn't. There's no hidden message behind that part of it. So back after a long while. Blackrow, how are you, mates? What's going on? Yeah, Kane McCall's another good one too. He's another one that I'm really excited for 2026. And I don't know how many of you either watch the training report videos I do or read the training reports already while they're out in the world on Punt Road and in Big Footy, but I know it's only December, mid-December. I don't think I felt this way last year, but it's getting increasingly more difficult to not get excited about this young crop coming through with what they're doing and showing at trainings. And I know it's just trainings, not against opposition. I get it, but you still got to try and put in all the hard yards and do things on the track to get to where you need to get to on game day. So they seem to be ticking some boxes, which is nice. And there just seems to be genuine competition for spots. John, yeah, Lynn try and play all games, agree. But the problem is, and I'm talking about the Fawcett piece because that was kind of the correlation with your comment. Fawcett, because he's contracted to the end of 2026, he still needs to be able to play enough games to show that he's worth extending the contract. And if we're talking about Lynch not playing every game, which I agree with, maybe that looks like he just doesn't play interstate games. And that might not be enough to get a look at Fawcett. He might not get a continued long enough run at it to justify himself for a new contract. But I think he's got something to offer. I think it's something we have to really explore and see what he's all about. So it's going to be fascinating to see, how we squeeze a few of these guys in to see what they can do. Any news on Sam Grill? Sam Grill, looking at the training notes today from Tigers of Old. Sam Grill. Some laser-like kicks out of defence. Also had a really nice transitional passage of play with Cumming down the punt road wing. Exciting look. A few other training onlookers as well have been very excited and blown away with his agility, his pace, cutting in and out of traffic. The only comment has been that he maybe sometimes cuts and gets himself into trouble, or maybe forces himself to put a teammate into more trouble because of taking the game on. That's just a learning and an experience thing. I don't want him to stop doing that. I would rather him keep doing that and work a way through it so he can eventually just keep stepping through blokes or find the right handball. But definitely don't take away from your attacking game, Grill. Keep doing what you're doing. I think we would much rather see that every day of the week. Phoenix, I feel like this pre and post draft last year, this year seems to be the most intriguing. Definitely is. Jones Racing could definitely see a few kids starting in the seniors. Rechko's another one. I still stand by that. I think Rechko's a lock for round 1. I know people think that might be batshit crazy, but I think he is close to a certainty, is my view. Don't argue. You reckon we can make the wild card? Really? What? I mean, we would need a lot to go right. And I'm talking about teams above us as well. I just don't know if we can play well enough for long enough at a high enough level yet on a consistent basis to do it. It would, yeah. It'd be amazing. It'd definitely keep a few people quiet. I just don't know if we're at that stage just yet. Healthy lists are very good, aren't they, Jeff? It's good fun. Hopefully you're doing well, Black Crow. I appreciate you dropping by. Fingers crossed everything's going well, mate, with all things health related. And if you ever need to talk, the inbox is always open. Greg, the $1 million question, where does McKelty Lafau fit in? I don't know. Backup ruck, fifth spot on the bench can go forward as well. I don't know. Well, we'll get to that shortly. I'll have to do the announcement before I get handed out of my own live. I'll answer one last one. Lionheart, Juddy Clark is running, not training as such in terms of ball drills, but is doing running, which I think is, I don't know, I feel like it's soon. Maybe it's not soon. Just on the back of coming off 3. I know what I was like after a couple. Awesome, though. Awesome. But all right, we'll get to the news. He did do his knee at the wrong time, McKelty. All of them did. Very, very excited to announce firstly, I want to give a shout out to the club first for this even being able to happen. It's extraordinary, and it's an honor. It's a privilege. It's a really big thing for a fan-based podcast for this to have happened, to be honest. I don't know of any of the other ones out there who have had this happen to date. Hopefully it becomes more of a regular thing, because I think it's fantastic. But excited to announce that at some point next week, Adam Uze will be joining me for a 10 to 15 minute chat. We'll be recording it off air, so it won't be a live. But with that means, similar to the Rye-Geishan scenario, I'm going to now post a Google form link in the chat. I'll pin it so you can, as viewers, submit any questions you want to send through. Obviously 10 or 15 minute chat, we have to sort of pick the eyes out of it and get the good ones through. So we won't be able to ask absolutely everything that we want to ask, but it gives you all a chance to send through some questions to hopefully put forward to Adam Uze. Sarge, you did guess it. I deliberately skimmed over your comment, but you did guess it. So yeah, Adam Uze will be sitting down for a chat, sometime next week for 10 or 15 minutes, which is absolutely awesome. And again, can't thank the club and Adam enough for the opportunity. It sort of defies belief in a lot of ways. I mean, we're just, a regular supporter, but I guess it just shows how much trust, I guess, they have in me, knowing that I'm not going to do the wrong thing. And I guess we built a really good relationship over the last 6 months. We had the Rye-Geishan interview that went really well. Obviously, the press conference that happened out of sort of sheer luck went really well. So yeah, really, really cool to have the chance to chat with Uze. And I also want to say as well that in my initial chats with Richmond a few months ago, this particular catch up with Uze was actually the club's idea. So this one wasn't necessarily me throwing a whole heap of ideas out there. They actually were the ones who suggested maybe we should do a chat with Uze before Christmas, and then we'll try and do another one after Christmas as well when they come back. So yeah, pretty cool that they're being really proactive in that space. And yeah, can't thank Nikki and the club enough for the opportunity to be able to have a chat with Uze. So I'll drop the link in the YouTube chat now. I think that's the one. Google Docs. Can I pin that? There you go. So there's a pinned comment in the YouTube chat. So if you've got a question you want to send through, feel free to fire away on the Google form. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. But very, very exciting. Very exciting. Grok, how are you, mate? Must have compromising pictures. No, definitely not. Definitely not. But no, appreciate all the kind words. Michael's is a brand risk, Tabo. Jesus. Why my brand risk? My goodness. But no, it's yeah, amazing. Like I said, I'm pretty confident this is groundbreaking in a lot of ways for fan-based pods, and hopefully there's plenty more of this stuff to come. And like I said, it was the club that were aiming for this one, and then we'll hopefully do another one in the new year. So we'll record it offline sometimes during the week. But any other questions that people ask or want to ask of him, I won't see them if you post them in chats, if you post them on boards or whatever. Just use the Google form sheet, because that's where I'm going to be going through all the questions to select a few out and get as many as we can in. I know it's 10 to 15, but I'll definitely be pushing for 15. You can be assured. So there you go. Pretty exciting news. And Sarge, well done for guessing it. Well done. And it's good to get this one in before the club finish up as well for the year. So I think they're training next week. But yeah, good to have this one locked and loaded. Then we'll reassess, and hopefully a few more things on the horizon next year in 2026. But yeah, very, very cool, and very, very honoured and very, very lucky, all of the above. So make sure, I'll obviously let you all know once it's done and it's on its way to hitting YouTube. Michael's Winfrey. I wish. But like I said, if the club have jobs going, feel free, let me know. But yeah, back to what we were talking about previously. McKelty the foul. Yeah, interesting to see how he's going to fit in. Could be one for Uze. He's going to have to get games, isn't he? He's going to have to get games, McKelty the foul, but it's going to be a timing thing. I think that's what it's all going to be. It's just going to be a timing thing. Birdman trying to get the political answers. No, I think, based on even the presser, and even Rye-Geishan, they definitely open up and are a bit more relaxed and open and honest in this type of environment, because they know that we're not chasing headlines. We're not like the media who are wanting that little bite grab to put on the front of the Herald Sun the next day. We're just wanting to know the ins and outs because we love the footy club as much as they do. Maybe even more in some ways, potentially. I don't know. So it's, yeah, we'll have to. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be relaxed. I think it'll be informative. And my aim always with these things is I want to come away having learnt something different from chatting to people at the club, because I know if I've learned something new, then there's a good chance that all of you will have learned something new as well, and that's the most important part. So that's the biggest aim for this. Dave's already done his question very good. Yeah, I did appreciate that people thought I was going to be the one announcing who the captains were for the year, or captain for the year. No, unfortunately, I don't think I'm that privy to information. Yeah, who knows? Maybe there'll be an exclusive reveal sometime down the track. That'd be sort of entertaining, wouldn't it? Appreciate it, Rob. Appreciate it. Phoenix, you reckon it's Lynch plus Lafau with one of the kids starting and one on the bench? Maybe. And Seb, I've heard it could be a little bit of second rucking as well for McKelty. Yeah, how to fit everyone in. Grok with the forms of Fall and Fawcett, I don't think Lafau gets many games, and that's the thing as well. Like, yeah, Fawcett's doing really well at training. There's obviously not a lot of spots open. It's going to be tight. Open Michaels, Jones Racing. Lafau have to earn his spot, Shane. Agree. Oh, they're all going to have to. I think that's the beauty of 2026, isn't it? I mean, for all intents and purposes, they'll have to all earn their spots. Do Mike Sheen and get Jacko on the show. Talk about. A few people have said that, to get Jacko on and talk about his time at Tigerland. Not sure I'm brave enough to do that, to be honest. Thank you, Damien. Appreciate it. Yeah, Hawks, go for it. Mars, would I want Nank to stay as captain or a fresh face? It's an interesting question. Last year, I think there was a lot of us who probably thought that they were going to hand the reins over to Taranto. The way that Taranto was sort of being utilised by the social team in the preseason last year, and it's even happening again this year as well. It sort of points to it, but it doesn't necessarily mean it, because it's literally a player's vote. But I think that Nank did a really good job last year. I guess it comes down to the long game of the plan. Like, if Nank goes another year, it's another year less that someone else would get to do it. But we need someone for a handover period for the next crop as well. It's a really tricky situation. I won't be surprised if Nank goes around again this year. However, I think one of the factors that may play into the decision, maybe from Nank's perspective, and this is just speaking as someone who's got kids as well, is with the addition of his newborn child. It changes your life completely for a lot of good reasons. And that maybe changes things for him potentially with, I suppose, work-life balance, because I'm sure there's a lot of extra things outside of the 9 to 5 at a footy club that he would have to do. Maybe there's not. Maybe that's completely wrong, but that would just be my assumption. So maybe that plays a factor for him personally. Maybe it doesn't. Whatever he does, back him in 100%. And whoever the players vote in, back them in 100% too. So I can see Nank going on with it, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he relinquished it. But I think the most important part is that it would be Nank's call either way, I believe, which he deserves the right to do. So if he wants it and the players want him, I think he gets it. Yeah, the membership cards are interesting too. I mean, how much do you read into that? I don't know. There's membership cards, there's calendars, there's all kinds of stuff. It's a tricky one. Yeah, Grok, I sort of think that too with the baby as well. Hayden, I reckon the big K should get the spot on the list. I think we've got more to gain by having a long-term, hopeful future ruckman, because he could end up being somewhere in the CDT areas, but it cost us nothing. Maybe that would be the hope. I appreciate that, Alpha. Thank you, Chris. No, it's good to be able to to connect you guys to the club in some way as well by being able to take your questions and put them forward. That's what this journey is kind of all about. So it's good fun. A lot of love for Timmy Taranto. It's probably equal love for Taranto and Nank being captain. Shane Lawler, next long-term captain. Thoughts? I think there's a few options there. He would definitely be one. Who else could be there? I mean, Sam Banks has been one that's been touted as captain by a few people probably closer to the club, I guess, which was one I hadn't really given much thought to, but he's one that had been floated around as well. We know that Smiley's got leadership traits, but obviously needs to focus on getting on the park first. Who else would there be? I'm not sure. Kane McAuliffe, would he be in the mix? Not too sure. But the Lawler one's interesting because there's always the argument as well. Do you just want him to get on with it and play footy and not worry about it? I mean, we obviously went with Trent Cotchin at a very young age. It worked out okay for us. Early days was maybe a little bit more of a struggle, but long term was pretty good. Grok wants the Kransky. Yeah, Hawk, that's interesting that you couldn't get it to work. A few people have sort of said they've had that issue as well. Like I said, I've tried it on about 4 or 5 different desktops, and it's worked on all of them. Have you tried downloading it rather than just clicking on the link? Maybe that fixes it. I'll keep looking into it though. I'll try and find another way to do it. Worst case, if anyone's desperate for it, the best 23 team selector thing, inbox me on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, because there's nothing to do it on YouTube, and send me your email address and I'll email it to you. I'm happy to do that. Jay, welcome. The announcement was that next week Adam Uze will be joining me for a 10 to 15 minute chat, so which is awesome for the club to allow him to come on for a chat before they go on break. And as a result, like we did with Rai Geishan, there is a pinned Google form document at the top of the YouTube comments, and you can submit any questions you want sort of fired away to Uze. Obviously, being 10 and 15 minute interview, we can't ask everything, but I'll do my best to pick the best ones out to try and get as much new information and to learn new things as possible. So feel free to fire questions away. Smiley with Fife Mark II. Oh, yeah, you take that. Oh, there you go, Phoenix. So you reckon downloading it works? Okay, interesting. I appreciate it, Jay. Appreciate it. Did everyone see there was an article today as well? I didn't read it because I think it was behind a paywall, but talking about the NGAs for next year, and Tanner Armstrong's the poster boy for it. So I'm sure that'll rile up some people somewhere in the world, no doubt. But hopefully Tanner has a really good year. I think he'd be a really good addition. I think he would complement it really well, outside really well. Still would like to see him polish up the kicking a bit more, but from an extraction and ball winning capability, I think he'd be a really nice, really good addition. I appreciate it, Tony. Yeah, that's right, James Racing. Inbox CB 100 times first. But send us a message with the emails if anyone's wanting that, and I'll flick it through. Hayden, I'm with you with Gibcus having a big year, and I sort of think it's starting to happen. I know that's an extraordinarily early comment to make, but he just looks really fit. He looks really confident in his body. He was playing really well in match sim, sort of having a lot of contests against Tom Lynch, it's a good matchup. He's going to be vital. He's going to be really, really vital. And I guess it's sort of multi-pronged, because if he comes in and plays well, maybe that does release Bolter to play backup ruck at times too. I think that's the only way that'll end up working. So I'm really keen to see Gibcus sort of do his thing and cement himself back in the side. It's a long time coming for him to come back. Obviously had quite a bit of time off, but I agree, Grog. He would be locked into my 23 as well. Whether he starts on the field or not is maybe a little bit of a different question, but it's not really, that's not really a big deal, I don't think. Robert, with the game allowing us to have a 5th spot on the bench, what type of play do you think we will use? Yeah, it's a really interesting one, Rob. I know what type of play do we all think we should use. I guess, I reckon it depends a little bit on who we play against. if you play against a team that's got two genuine rucks, you might have to match it, maybe. Or do we go one of our... Is it a McKelty Lafau who can play backup ruck, who can play forward, who can go and play up around stoppages around the ground? Is it another runner or a midfielder like a Sonzi or a Kane McCall for Jasper Elga? I don't know, whoever it might be. I mean, there's no restrictions on who it could be, I suppose, but it just depends on what you want to add into the team. I would assume you'd be going for someone who can play dual positions, would be my guess. That would be how I would do it. A lot of love for Josh Gibcus in chat. Vince, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, Nuclear. Gibcus could be a swingman. I've said this for a little while, that if he can't crack into the back line with Miller and Bolter, like, I think he can. I don't think we can't not play all three of them at once. I think it works. But if for whatever reason that it didn't, Gibcus could definitely swing forward. The problem is we've already got that many forward options as well that we probably don't need it. And Campbell Gray's the other one too, who was mentioned as well. He sounds like he's doing some good work at training too. And as we saw last year, didn't look out of place at AFL level. But again, it's how does he fit in? How and where does he fit? I don't know. And he can play both ends too. He's not who can play both ends. But yeah, I mean, our VFL team's going to be really strong, if nothing else, which is good. I know, Hayden, I'm the same as you, mate. I can't wait for round one. Even if we wind it back a little bit again, even just the bloody practice games in February, I can't wait for. Like, to the point where, so in years gone by, for no real reason, but I wouldn't have really given a second thought to the unofficial practice game or the practice game down in Ballarat. Wouldn't have given it a second thought. But now, I'm bloody on booking.coms and Airbnbs looking at what type of accommodation might be in Ballarat at that time to maybe go down there. Like, it just feels that exciting what's happening with the footy club, which is good. Oh, my dad's in the house. Darren, how are you? What are you watching on your phone or your TV? He's just written well. I'm not sure if he meant it. Greg could be a swingman. We have so many tools. We do have a lot of tools. We do. Robert, who's the front runner as a backup ruckman while Sims is out? Yeah, so Sims is going to be interesting because the medical report from Serple sort of hinted at that he might be tracking for round one. I feel like we'll be conservative and it might not be round one, but that's just me. So to your question, do you go with Hayes Brown or Samson Ryan? Or my honest feeling is that it's going to be a hybrid. I think it's going to be a Lafau, a Bolter, a someone like that as a makeshift, just to get by. Alpha, fair call. Ballarat's up, not down. Fair call. I appreciate it, Dad. It's awesome to get Uze on board. It's very, very good. So hopefully it all goes well. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll be awesome, and hopefully it leads to some bigger and better things. Right, Black Crow. I ticked off every game on list going to the dream time. Oh, there you go. Giddy up. Go Tigers. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Will the club consider joint promotion for the interview channel? That's probably the next part that I'm trying to map out in my own mind. Like, I'm obviously really grateful and appreciative that I get to just have him on my channel and upload it, but it would be cool if the club could push it out there on their socials. I feel like that won't happen. I feel like that there's more of and I get it, because even where I work, people ask us to share stuff as well, so I get it. But there's definitely, they want to protect their own brand, and at the end of the day, as much as we've got a good relationship in there, it's awesome. I am just a fan channel, and I don't know whether they want to promote that. I can understand why they wouldn't. I'm going to definitely ask the question, even if it was to share on their Instagram post or something. It'd be cool because I really do genuinely think that, like the Raigishan one, the Uze one, that other supporters are going to learn a lot from these interviews because they're questions from supporters that they would never hear otherwise from media throughout the course of the year. So I think it's like in other supporters' best interest to see this and to hear it and to learn something from it. So yeah, I'll definitely pitch it to them. and see. All I can do is ask, right? And they've been pretty good with everything so far, so you never know. But that would be cool if they could share, just so more supporters can see and hear what they're saying in a more relaxed environment, which would be good. Hayes Brown a better option than Ryan. It's a real battle. It's a real battle. Sorry, Phoenix. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, your point's correct. The photo they used was Tanner. I'm sort of like you. I would have thought a lot of the articles you see they're using Tanner Armstrong or Cody Walker. I'm sorry, Dougie Cochran and Cody Walker. But yeah, I almost felt like it was it a jab at Richmond? I don't know. I didn't read the article, so I probably don't know the context behind it. And maybe it was just the first photo that popped up for him. But I'll be pretty happy to get Tanner just quietly. Grok, our VFL side is wide. Doubt Lafau plays many games. We don't have a senior forward. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like how much balance comes into trying to help out the VFL side. I mean, we're there for the AFL, but you want to make sure you've got balanced lists in both comps, so you can execute the same game plan consistently. So there'll be some tweaking there. Bit of love in chat for Dad. Good to see. What are you using? Where are you right at? TV. Your mother took the phone off me to send the message. Fair enough. On the big screen. Jesus, that's good. Hopefully it comes through clear. Rough. No, Dad's not the reason I'm a Tiger supporter. So, weirdly enough, but Dad was never massive footy nuffy like I am. But ever since, so when I was born, it was like my mum, auntie, grandma were the mad Richmond nuffies, and they were the ones who signed me up very early days. Dad was an Essendon supporter in my very, very younger years. Loved Kevin Sheedy in particular, but for a long time now he's been on Richmond's for sure. But he was Essendon, so it could have gone the other way. Could have worn the wrong colour sash, but no, he's definitely a Tiger now. He's been a member for a while, which was good. Thoughts on MJ a lock for the forward line or Master? I'm a big fan of MJ. I don't hide from that, and I know I'm sometimes in the minority, but he is training the house down, to use that phrase, training the house down. Fittest he's been, running all session, like chasing, moving to space. Skills have been good. Track watchers have been impressed, who maybe otherwise haven't been impressed with him in previous years. And I'm banking on a big year for Morris Jr. I think the penny's dropped. A lot of people, and I didn't know this, but a lot of people have put a good point out there that Morris Sr. didn't get to us until he was 24, 25, and didn't come into his own until then. So maybe Morris is doing something similar, hitting his straps a bit older. Fingers crossed, though. Grok, has there been much interest in a Tigercast player sponsorship? There was some interest across the different socials. I probably need to go back and do a bit of a count to see what we might have gotten to total-wise. So I'll have to have a look into that in my time off potentially. But it would be cool to do. Michael's on the prowl for Manfred's gig. No, I'm not wanting anyone's gig. But we'll happily join the club's pod for a guest appearance if they ever want me on at one stage. And I did tweet Brenton at one point saying, it would have been last year in the VFL, that if he ever wants a special comments person, count me in. But that's just me throwing out pipe dream ideas. John, out of the 4 new kids, which is the best chance to play round 1? Which 4? The 4 from this year. The best chance for round 1. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because it's like Sam Cumming is training well, but he has the non-contact cap on, and we don't really know why. There's been a really good point made. It could be to do with his braces, and that might sound silly at the start, but if he is meant to be getting them off in the near future, I kind of wouldn't blame him for protecting that part of his face until that happens, because it's a very expensive thing to go through to then get your teeth caved in at training. So maybe it's something to do with that. Maybe it's something to do with his shoulder. He's training well and moving well and doing all the drills, but it's probably Sam Grill that is training consistently for all of the trainings. If you want to throw in Rechko as well, he would. If I'm throwing in Rechko, he's my lock for round 1 out of the kids. But Sam Grill might be a sneaky consideration. But it depends on what happens in the new year. In the new year, if Cumming comes back and isn't wearing the non-contact cap and is just getting stuck into it, I can see him pushing his case. But shit, it's going to be a tough side to break into, which is crazy to think of, isn't it? Should I compete with you? No, and Pete, I hope I didn't put it across that way. They're definitely not competing. They are well on board with having me involved with connecting fans and the club, which is awesome. But yeah, well, I'll chat to them and see what we can do there. But they've been more than generous with everything they've done, so I can't speak highly enough of the club and in this whole scenario. But that would be a pretty cool step forward. What else we got? Samuel, where do we fit Sonzi after the kids we just drafted? It's a real head scratcher, Samuel. The reason why it's a head scratcher is because he's very well skilled. Like, he's one of our better skilled players, and that counts for something. But there's a lot of other parts of footy that count for more things as well. What's been interesting is to hear from training reports that he's been used as kind of one of those players who wears a different bib in match sim, where he's the link-up man in the middle of the ground for both teams, like the main guy you pass the ball to. So that was interesting to hear. Hopefully that means something, but I don't know. I honestly, whenever these younger kids, and I'm talking 1st to 4 year players, whenever they get a senior game, they have to just make the most of it. Like, no more will we see people coasting and just thinking they'll get a game next week. It's going to be, you're playing for your career or your season every week, which is good. Grok, my biggest thing with MJ is he returned in great condition, so could get straight into things. Yeah, exactly right. Like, and that's been the biggest issue, hasn't it? That previous years he maybe wasted 2 or 3 months getting into the condition he's in now. So now he's just doing all the ball work and just smashing it out, which is good. Jones Racing, I have done a pod with Nick and Andy in the past, like a very, very long time ago. We did do one, but yeah, we can definitely look at doing something again for sure. I think it's because of Cummings' shoulder. There we go. Makes sense. Damien, a forward line of Lawler, Fall, Campbell, Rioli, Lynch, Elgar with Big Harry on the bench. I know. It is. It's genuinely exciting. It's exciting. It's youthful. So there's still going to be some teething problems. There's still going to be some inconsistencies in performance. So as long as we sort of all wrap our head around that, I guess. But it's going to keep getting better and better. And yeah, Rechko is technically a second-year player, but I mean, he may as well be a first-year player he didn't do anything at Geelong. And yeah, but you're right. Jones Racing, having read the recent training reports, which kid or kids excite me the most? It's still Jasper and Morris are probably the ones that I'm excited about the most. I mean, Lawler, we know what we're going to get with Sam Lawler. He's just a beast. The big forwards, good to hear Jonty up and about as well. Good to hear Sam Grill taking the game on, but I think for us to go to the next level, for us to be more competitive in games, we need the Morris Riolis, we need the Ryan Mansells, and I know Banks is doing some rehab stuff, but we need those other guys in that next tier to really step up and become a lot more consistent and a lot more impactful. So that's why I get so excited about what Morris is doing, because if it translates to on-field, that's going to really help us out in a massive, massive way. Taj had a point to prove. The family converted dad due to peer pressure. That's probably a fair point. That's probably fair enough. Hayden, could you imagine if we beat the Blues again in round 1? Like, it was unprecedented last year, or this year, should I say, if we were to do it in back-to-back years. And look, technically, they're a bit weaker. They've obviously lost Harry Kerno. They lost to Koning, lost Silvani. They've picked up some players, though. I actually do like the pickups that they got. It just might take a little bit for it to all mesh and to find their new groove. They'll get Jagger Smith back, who's going to be a gun. It'll be an interesting round 1. Put it that way. It'll be a very interesting round 1. Black Crow, if you could interview any Richmond player or coach, past or present, who would you love to get on the show? Who? I mean, you'd love to get like your Dusty and a Trent Cotchin on. Probably never going to happen. We've had Richo on, so that's been good. Um, Even Terry Wallace would be interesting to listen to, I think, with I suppose how all the footy went when he was at the club. A bit of stuff happened there. Jake King would be an interesting one too. There'd be a few interesting players out there to chat to. But you'd love to get Trent or Dusty on, wouldn't you? Talk about all the grand final antics. A lot of people thinking we can beat the Blues round one. And Ash, the accuracy comment's right as well. It was pleasing to see, again, I know it's only training, that Jonty Falls apparently nailing 70-metre barrels just for fun, which I did have to laugh at. Pete, who's in the last chance saloon for 2026? Sonzy, Ralph Smith, Ryan. Well, Samson Ryan's contracted till 2027, so for all intents and purposes, he'll be safe. Sonzy, I think, would be make or break. Ralph Smith, I think, might be make or break. Fawcett is going to be make or break. Caleb Smith will be make or break. So there's a few. There's going to be some really shit and tough calls made at the end of the year for sure. And in terms of who may retire, well, Broad has said openly that he was going to retire at the end of 2026. So unless something changes, then that should play out. Lynch and Prestia, I'm not so sold on that they'll retire. I guess it depends on how their body goes throughout 2026. That's probably the biggest sticking point. But yeah, it's... I wouldn't be against... I still think we need Lynch for another year just to get the kids through one more year because they're still far too young to throw out to the Wolves as a fully fledged forward line. Yeah. Rational Roman, it would be unbelievable if the 26 Tigers emulate the Baby Bombers. There would be a lot of interesting Facebook comments on different groups. It would be interesting. It'd be very good. I'm trying to be careful what I say there. Samuel, on Mansell, don't think he's a forward. Make him a tagger. Look, I think he's kicked the most goals for us over the last two seasons combined. I think he was third this year. And he's kicked some really clutch goals, but it's getting tight in the forward line. I still think he could be used on the lockdown small defenders, but he's the kind of guy that I think they'll find a way to get into the side. And not in a bad way, because I think he does set a really good standard for us in a lot of ways, and I don't like using the word butt barometer. But on what part of the grounds, yeah, it's a really interesting one. Wouldn't mind. The tagging option, you can try it. You can try it for sure. Where are we? No reason why we can't beat Carlton round one. Master, I still think Bauer had something to give. I think he was given the chance. Like, the spot was his early days, and he just didn't deliver, which is a bit disappointing. Like, I really do think that he showed some signs. Played some good games in the VFL. What did it for me, though, is... when in the first part of the year, when he went back to the VFL, he was playing just like he couldn't give a shit. That's how it appeared visually. No efforts, just trying to take mark of the year every time I went inside forward 50, didn't want to work hard for it. And that kind of left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth when watching it. I'm not sure if that's how it was portrayed internally, but I just don't think he fought hard enough for his spot. It almost felt like with the draftees that we had with like your Fall, Armstrong, Sims, Fawcett, it almost felt like he conceded really early once he got dropped and couldn't be asked working his way back in. Having said that, his last handful of VFL games was a lot better, but he just needed to do that a lot earlier, was how I saw it. Shall we run about round one, Grok? Why not? Why not? If we win round one, I reckon it could be more than Seth doing some backflips, Jones Racing. Hayden, that would be a good rumour. Ben Miller getting an extension, hopefully, because there's going to be some clubs coming after him, no doubt. There'll be some big offers, like big offers to get Ben Miller if we don't re-sign him, and there's no doubt that we are aware of that, should I say? But yeah, he would be a good one to get signed up. Black Crow, I'll be transparent. I'm probably going to pass on the Silvani situation. I don't think it's one that needs to be gone into. Yeah, well, obviously, you'll see it all play out on TV, and I'll probably leave it at that. Yeah, for that particular one. Yeah, same with Jay King. He'd have some ripper stories. He'd be a ball of fun, I reckon. He'd be awesome. Don't argue. How high can we push our average points per game? Yeah. This is the thing. Is like it's easy to get caught up on wins and losses, but for me, 2026 is definitely all about our average points per game, and by extension, our percentage. And sort of by extension, again, we did have a lot of goalless quarters, which really pissed me off, and probably all of you as well, and probably the club. So I'd love to eradicate that. I mean, I know that seems like a really low bar to set, but if we can make sure there's no goalless quarters, that's a good start, good stepping stone. Average score, you'd love it to be in the 75s to 80s. Again, we're young, we're inexperienced, so it may not happen like that, but you'd like to do it. I mean, and then there's the 100-point side of things as well. We hit it once last year, which was good. That was a big tick. You'd love to hit 100 points. I mean, if we can do it 5 times, I think that would be a great effort, given where we've come from and how young we are. There'll be some who'll think it's not good enough, but I reckon if you can hit 100 points 3 to 5 times, that'd be nice as well. But definitely those scoring metrics need to improve, and it'll be interesting because we're still really inexperienced up forward. They're a year older and a year more experienced, which hopefully counts for something. Lynch will hopefully be out there a bit more. And we've obviously got Luke Bruce down there. Chris Newman's there for another year, so hopefully there's a bit more cohesion. And hopefully the game plan sort of lends itself to... The reality is, if we play a fast-moving brand of football, we will score more. I think it's as simple as that. Because we slow played a lot last year, like you'd have to call it 85 to 90% of the time we slow played it. That type of football, that type of method is way too easy for oppositions to set up against us as an inexperienced outfit. It makes it really difficult to hit your forward 50 targets. But if we play the way we've been training and based on the sort of mantras that we sort of keep hearing and seeing, we will naturally score more because of that. We might concede some more as well because it's sort of high risk, high reward. I think that's okay. I think our backline's one of our strongest parts of the ground. So maybe we're backing that in to do its job. And as long as the midfielders work hard both ways, so we get the right players in there to help out, then I think we can be a bit more run and gun, which will hopefully create more avenues to score. So I think it is that simple, but it's just being able to execute it and do it on game day, I suppose, is the big thing. Get Lord of the Wings to reveal himself. I've invited him on, Human. If you would have seen the post, no doubt. I've invited him on. If he doesn't think it's diverse enough, he's free to come on anytime he wishes to talk about the Tigers. Robert, what are the chances of us getting Zach Bailey? I would love to get Zach Bailey. And this is why 2026 is a really interesting year, because if we have a promising year, and I'm not at all saying we'll make finals or anything like that. If we show a lot of promise, a lot of developments and movements in the right direction, that can still be appealing to a potential prospect who maybe then thinks, okay, if I join this club, I might be the extra piece of the puzzle they need to catapult them a bit further next year and the year after. So we all of a sudden maybe don't come across as a less appealing prospect. We might have some value to some players, but you would love to get a Zach Bailey or a Zach Butters. Get both the Zachs. We've got 2 Sams. Get both Zachs. I'd be shocked if we weren't active in the free agency and trade period at the end of 2026. I don't know who will shake loose. A lot of people have floated Darcy Wilson as well from St Kilda. I don't mind that one. That's a good shout. But I think we will shake a few trees, I reckon. 8 wins for 2026. It's a big goal. You'd love to get 8 wins, and you're obviously going to always strive for more than 8 wins. I do worry that, not worry, but I have said that there's a good chance we could play better than last year and still only win as many games as this year, or maybe less, depending on how other teams improve. Like that's the big unknown, is what other teams are doing as well. You'd love to get 8. I mean, 8 would be a huge result. It would be massive if we were able to do that. Did you see the news that they're going to be suspending for gut punches? Did see that. Did see that. Will they be consistent though? And they're suspending for the pushes as well in the marking contest. I don't have any mail on any contract extensions. Jones Racing. Grok, if he's still around, he might know something. Yeah, not too sure. Not too sure. Matty Knights. Yeah, Matty Knights down in Tasmania, which was a good gig, I reckon. Miller's a gun. Only Tiger fans know it. I mean, to be fair, Alpha, there's probably, unfortunately, a lot of Tiger supporters who don't back him either, which is confusing to say the least. But yeah, Miller had a super year last year. He was really, really good. And from all reports, his kicking again this preseason has been elite. He's just got a newfound confidence in his own ability, which is good. That'll make a big difference, especially when trying to counter-attack football. I don't know if we have tried to get Knights back to Punt Road. That'd be interesting to know. We need to do a Hawthorn 23-24. Young team who played insanely quick football. Hopefully. I agree, Peter. And I know why we couldn't do it as such in 2025, because it wouldn't have worked. If you had have asked all of those players out there to play breakneck football with them not understanding the structure and the game plan and what they want to try and do, it would have been utter chaos. But hopefully we see a bit more of it this year. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting. Miller Loki reminds me of Troy Chaplin. Hopefully that's a good thing. We'll definitely have the money to throw around, Pete. Absolutely. For the teams improving, yeah, the Pies. I think the Pies will still be thereabouts. I reckon they'll make the 8, but maybe the lower half of the 8. But yeah, what teams fall out of the 8? Who knows? It's going to be another close year. What else was there? It is getting hot out here. Black Crow, what are your thoughts on the new rule of ditching the throw-in between the 250-metre arcs? I like it. I really like it. The reason why I like it is because I watched a lot of Sandford during the year for Louis Callaway. I probably got a lot more used to the rule because I was seeing it so often. And I think it makes sense. And I do think that even those who are maybe unsure of it, I think people will get on board with it really quickly. It speeds the game up, but it doesn't take away... But there's still boundary throw-ins because it's last possession, not last touch. So if there's two players fumbling the ball and it goes over, it's a throw-in. If it's spoiled over the boundary line, it's a throw-in. It's only if it's a kick that goes at right angles and goes out, which as it stands right now, we don't know what they're going to pay and it just pisses everyone off when they do pay it. So now it's just clear cut. If you kick or handball and it goes out, it'll be paid as, deliberate, essentially. I don't mind it. I think it's really good. The stand rule's still shit, though. I think they've still botched that. I'll never understand why we've got that, but anyway. Have I tried doing a Blair Hartley interview? I did flag it when I first went to the club, but I flagged it in the sense that I knew it was going to be no chance because he's very guarded, and I respect that. So I think that's probably less likely than likely. Doesn't mean it's off the table. I can always re-ask in the future, but I wouldn't hold my breath for that one, just quietly. But that's okay. Grok, last minute Lewis Capaldi ticket. Nice. Where's he playing at? Yeah, and Greg, and that's a good point too, that young groups often take a step backwards before going forward. The age-old second-year blues, they call it. But yeah, is that still a thing? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out, but hopefully we go okay. Miller had a great year. He had a great year. Where do you see Gray fitting in, Robert? I don't know. He's just at that awkward height. Like I don't think he can be a Broad replacement. I think I feel like he's taller than Broad. I might be wrong, but I just think we've got we've got Trainer down there. We've got Miller. We've got Gibcus, Bolter. I'm just not sure how he fits. I think he needs to fit though because I think he can be a really good player. But I don't know. again, he's going to be one that's going to really hold together the VFL side if he's not playing AFL. So he's going to be, he'll almost be one of the leaders down there for the backline anyway, if that's where he's playing. Any Richmond players to take part in State of Origin? Yeah, there's none yet, is there? I don't know. I mean, I could see a Tim Taranto doing it. I don't think our younger guys will do it. I think it would be the older guys, but like our older guys are probably too old, with the exception of Taranto and Hopper. I'm trying to think who else might do it. I'm not sure we'll have anyone in there, to be honest. Which isn't the worst. I really love the State of Origin concept, so I'm happy either way, but it's probably not the worst. How do you think the changes in the ruck rules will affect Nank? Oh, so that's a good question, Widescreen. Now, initially, I was probably of the personal opinion that it was going to hinder Nankervis because he's a shorter ruckman and the other rucks could run and jump over him. However, Kiwi Tiger replied to something I posted on the Big Footy forum when I was talking about the rucks, and he made a really good point that he thinks it's actually going to benefit Nank because of the way Nank ruckmen try to like jump into him or like try to body him early so he can't get access to the ball, and they can't do that now. And because of him being a left-hand ruckman as well, it can throw people out. So he brought up a few really good points that I hadn't considered, and yeah, maybe it's going to help him. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I'm really keen to see how he goes, but my initial vibe was the young springier ruckman might have an advantage, but yeah, maybe it's not as bad as what we thought. So, and that was really cool to hear that from Kiwi. And Rising Phoenix, that's right. And that's why you saw in the Sandful and even the women's comp that players become more desperate just to try and get hands on the ball before it trickles over, just to cause a throw-in instead of a free kick. So, yeah, I think there's good ways around it. Rod Laver, nice croc. Enjoy that, mate. Blair Hartley and Martin will be best mates, both despise the media. Second year blues are a myth, hopefully. I really hope it's not a thing. Don't argue, surely we can organise a live show on one of the bars on Swan Street before our home game. Yeah, Grok and I, we have spoken about that before. It's on my to-do list, a live show with a crowd and whatever. The only thing stopping me at the moment is I don't have the required technology to execute it. So by that, we would need obviously microphones for the panel, but then speakers to project it to the audience, assuming that people turn up, which I hope they will. But then we'd also need it recorded or put out onto a live for the normal weekly show as well. Or maybe it's just its own thing. I don't know. But either way, I don't have the technology to do it. Yeah, so if someone does and they know how to do it and they're happy to help out, sing out, let us know, because that is the sticking point. Is it's a lot more in depth. I'd love to do it though. I think it'd be great fun. But I think that aside, I think because of the time slots of our games this year, a lot like during the day, I do think I'll be getting to a lot more games this year. So I do think we'll do a few more meetups outside the ground, like outside Gate 3, typically in that area. And I'll probably bring the cameras. We might do some like questions. We might even do lives before the game and get people's thoughts pre-game, and then do some stuff post-game as well, depending on results maybe. But yeah, so if anyone's willing and keen to chat and you see me with a camera and a microphone, feel free to come and say hi and have a chat around the ground, which would be good. The wings will be packed out next year. Well, I feel like the wing spot's almost like an audition spot. Like, we've got players who we think can play there, but we don't have anyone locked into playing there, do we? It's an interesting one. Yeah, Bolton and Baker playing for WA, yep. Oh, there you go. Hopper doesn't play. Okay, so he was there from New South Wales. I have seen Jeff White's channel Widescreen. It's really good. It's really good, his analysis. Yeah, I like what he does. And it's good to get a better understanding on the ruck side of things as well, isn't it? Who wins the comp again this year, Black Crows? It's going to be hard to not pick Brisbane. I mean, they've just won 2 in a row, and they've just picked up, who they pick up? They got Oscar Allen, Draper, and then obviously the academy kids as well. The Ashcrofts are getting a year older as well. They're getting better whilst winning flags, so it's hard to look past them. The Gold Coast Suns, they'll be up there as well. I think they'll have with their acquisitions too, Petrarca, Ugle-Hagan. If he gets his shit together, that's going to be, it's already a scary side, but that'll be even scarier if Jamara clicks with King. Yeah, Gold Coast are a big shout. Yeah, might do random ones post-game. I don't want to approach supporters because not everyone wants to be approached to talk, and I respect that. But maybe it's if I was set up in a certain spot and people just came over and jumped into chat would maybe be the way to do it. I just don't want to be intrusive. I don't want people to feel obliged or feel on the spot. Yeah, it's something to try though. We'll tinker with a few things, but definitely pre-game. I think doing a live pre-game would be kind of cool because it's like how many people get to the ground an hour early, 2 hours early, whatever it is, or they're on the train in. If we were out the front of the ground doing a live, people giving their thoughts of a preview of the game, could be something cool to watch on the way in. So we might do that. Alpha Lions will fall over. Oh, it'll take something special for them to fall, won't it? Yeah, Grok. If Ugle-Hagan, if he does pull his finger out, you would have to say prelim would be the minimum. You would have to say for the Suns. I'd love to get to an interstate game, Robert. It's really difficult just with the 3 kids. It's difficult with the 3 kids and then school, and then my eldest is going to be starting up junior football this year, and there's a reasonable chance that I'll be an assistant coach or coach. Well, I interviewed for assistant coach because that's what I wanted to do, but no one else has applied for the role, so I don't know whether I'm getting roped in to coach. I might have to run that by my supervisor first. But yeah, so he'll be doing that. So there'll be some limitations around that too with travel for interstate. But I'd love to get to a gather round. That's probably the one I'd love to get to. I've been trying to con work into getting a few of us to go to help out with some sharing stuff. So I'll still work on that. But I think all our tickets are sold out. So even if I was able to go, I'm pretty sure the Richmond game's fully sold for the Giants. But often we would usually make a trip and go to Queensland or to see a Brisbane or a Gold Coast game, but we don't play there this year or next year, should I say? But we'll have to try and do something. That's good that we've even got interstate people watching as well. Love it. I like the idea of previews and post game. Yeah, I think it'd be good. And I reckon I can even do it on my phone because I can just go live on my phone with YouTube, but I'm pretty sure I can connect my microphone to my phone. So it's like better audio quality, which would be good. Gather around at the Barossa. Wineries for days. I know. It was a ripper view, wasn't it? The Barossa. It seems like it's a really good festival, Rob. Everyone I know that's been there has spoken really highly of it. I guess the only shit thing is maybe the difficulty to get there and then to find accommodation. But have they got the chips and the balls yet? So I'll think my way through how I'll answer that. AFLW had it. So I don't know how many AFLW games everyone watched, but there was times throughout the season where they would also show some pretty cool graphics of what the data can show. Like they could remap where the ball was kicked from, show you the curve, show you how high it went through the goalpost. They had a fair few different cool real-time graphics that they could display, as well as the goal line technology with the chip for score reviews and things like that. I think they might have been in a couple of VFL games as well along the journey, but I don't know yet what's happening for it next year. So it's got a lot of potential. And selfishly, we would love to know in advance so we can get that all sorted. But the hardest part for the men's game is actually getting the frequency right. Because, so for AFLW, a lot of the games are kind of like at open stadiums. So you might see on the broadcast or throughout the game, there'll be like big poles set up on just on the outside of the fence with like a white little box at the top of it. So they're kind of like all the sensors. So you have to have it measured out perfectly to capture every angle of the ground. And no two grounds are the same, but you can't do that at Marvel. You can't do that at the MCG. So yeah, they have to have like a permanent structure to be able to do it, or a permanent fixture. So I think there's a bit more involved in getting it done at men's level, but I'm not sure where they're at with that yet. Seb going to 4 games next year. Gather. Oh, nice. I think that's what you got to do though, don't you? Like if you go on a gather round, you may as well go see some other games. Like who cares if they're not your team? Just enjoy the occasion and get stuck into it. Dave went to the Barossa this year. Long drive with a hangover the next day. Jesus. Yeah, that's a shit drive. Gold Coast second favourite for the flag, $8. We've been paying $5. Yeah, they're going to take some beating. Yeah, they're trying to upgrade the current system. Yeah, it's amazing what tech's out there though. It's very good. But all right, that might be about it, because I am mindful that I do have to record my 12th day of Christmas video and post that tonight because I'm falling behind otherwise. And I might do a training report video as well. But yeah, again, appreciate all the kind words in the comments. For those who did miss it, the announcement was that Adam Uze will be joining me for a chat next week for 10 to 15 minutes. And you might have seen it. There's a pinned post in the YouTube chat where you can submit some questions on the Google form. So feel free to send them through. Like I said, we won't be able to put them all in, of course, because it's only 10 or 15 minutes, but we'll do our best to include as many as possible. And again, appreciate all the kind words and the support as well from all of you. And again, a massive thanks to the Richmond Football Club for allowing it to happen. I feel very, very lucky and fortunate, and obviously we've got a good relationship and a good amount of trust built up with each other, which is awesome. And I'm looking forward to having Uze on for a chat about pre-season, about season 2026, and to see where everything's heading in that sense. So yeah, very much looking forward to it. To finish off, Jones Racing, who of our kids do you like for the Rising Star? Taj Houghton I like for the Rising Star. I think he'll be a good shout for that. Smiley, we just don't know when he'll start playing, but I think Taj Houghton could be a sneaky chance. So see how he goes there. Oh, there you go. The team picker works on that Dropbox link. If you download the page and load it up from that, there you go. So that's the workaround. So when you go to the Dropbox, click download. Don't just click on the link, and you should be able to do that team selection thing from there, which is awesome. But thank you again, guys, for an amazing night. I appreciate all the love and support. There may be some other stuff being announced. I might announce it, though, next year. Just a few things getting worked on currently. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens with that, and when I know more. I think that's all I've got. December's a quieter month, so yeah, there'll be some videos here and there. So if you see them, show them some love. I'll obviously give you all enough notice when the Uze one's out. And yeah, other than that, stay safe. There's a bug there. Stay cool, because it's been really hot the last few days. And until the next one, go Tigers.